Hello and welcome everyone to the channel. My name is Schmitty. Today we are going to be starting a rebuild for the Arizona Cardinals here on Madden 23. The Cardinals have been one of those teams that have been trying to take the next step but just couldn't. So that is why new owner Nick Halden is looking to help take these Cardinals to the next step. The current Cardinals roster has some of the pieces needed, but not all of them. One of the pieces that we do have that we are thankful for is quarterback Kyler Murray. The 25-year-old signal caller was entering his third year in the league, and he is the 13th ranked quarterback in the league. This is huge for us because he is so young and he still has a long time to develop. He has the player tags of franchise QB and award winner, which are huge draw-ins for players looking to sign with us during free agency. Although he is only a 79 overall, I feel that Murray can develop into a great quarterback that this team needs to help bring us to the next level of success. Through his first 3 years, Kyler Murray has played well for the Cardinals. In his last 2 years, he has posted over a 2-to-1 touchdowns to interceptions ratio, as well as some good numbers there, over 3,500 passing yards in every season so far, and almost a 65% completion rate in each season so far. These numbers have earned Kyler Murray a 7-year contract with the Cardinals, and it was awesome because he was motivated to stay with them for the time, and let's hope we can keep those motivations high and keep him on the team and happy. And one of the best ways to keep your young quarterback happy is having a weapon for him to throw to, and we do with DeAndre Hopkins. The 30-year-old out of Clemson is one of the best wide receivers in the game. He has been excellent for us so far, and we hope to have him continue to play like one of the top receivers. Although he is rated the 6th best wide receiver in the league, DeAndre Hopkins still has that big play ability in him and can make any team think twice about how they're defending him coming into the game. With DeAndre Hopkins often drawing extra coverage from the secondary, it should leave many of our other wide receivers open and available to make big plays. Keeping Hopkins happy means keeping a franchise quarterback and staying in contention for the Super Bowl. Hopefully we can do that, but the 30-year-old receiver has 3 years remaining on his contract, so by the time he is out of this contract, he'll be 33, and we might not be able to keep him for much longer, so our window with him is definitely closing fast. Hopkins is not the only receiver that we have, though. We also have 25-year-old Marquise Brown, recently acquired by the Cardinals from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Brown is a speedy wide receiver who can make big, deep plays, and that is something that Kyler Murray loves to do as well. With Brown lining up opposite DeAndre Hopkins, it could lead to a great tandem, as Brown's speed might be able to force the defense's hands to try to either free space for DeAndre or just let Brown get open downfield. And we have a final part of our receiving core to help. And that piece is Rondale Moore, the wide receiver out of Purdue. He will be a great slot receiver going with Brown and Hopkins. He is also extremely fast and can make some nice catches for us. His short route running is the best stat, and we will run him on drags and slants, I think. And that should definitely get him some open yardage to try to make defenders miss with his great speed. One thing about these 3 wide receivers is they all have about 3 years left on their deals, so if we do not get something done, we might have to look into changing up our wide receiver core if their motivations and interest in signing with us change. After that, we have not a lot to look forward to. Our offensive line is aging and not as good as they should be. Left tackle DJ Humphries is one of the pieces that we can build around. The 79 overall left tackle is definitely someone that we can make work, but at 28 years old, we don't know how much more he will develop. Next is our left guard Justin Pugh. The 32-year-old is only 76 overall, and I'm worried that we might not get much better. Although ranked the 16th best left guard in the league, I don't know if he can continue this level of play or if we'll see him regress soon. Now, the absolute captain of our offensive line is center Rodney Hudson. The 11-year vet is sitting at 33 and 87 overall. He is the 6th best center in the league, and he is definitely the piece that will help drive this offense going forward. His pass block and run blocking stats are great. Let's hope that he can help elevate a lot of these other offensive linemen to be at his level of play. The right side of the line is like the left side. We have one player who we think we can build around, and that is right guard Will Hernandez. The 26-year-old out of UTEP has normal development, but we still have years to try to develop him. His pass block and run blocking stats will get the job done, but hoping that a couple of upgrades will make him into an even better player. With a dynamic quarterback like Kyler Murray and the explosive wide receivers we have, we need time for this offense to run, and we don't know if Kelvin Beachum Jr. can help protect us from some of the dominant edge rushers in the league. As it stands right now, I think all three opponents in the division for us will absolutely rip our offensive line to shreds. We have Bosa and Darnold in the division alone, and that is enough to make our offensive coordinator worry that these linemen might not be able to improve to the standard we need them to. We'll definitely be looking in the draft and free agency to improve these guys, but we'll have to be careful about who we pick. Wrapping up our preview of the offense is our starting tight end, Zach Ertz. The 31-year-old out of Stanford was recently, within the past couple of years, acquired from the Philadelphia Eagles. At 82 overall, he is the 14th best tight end in the league, but we might not have the best use for him. His pass blocking stats and run blocking stats are not what we would like them to be, and at 31 years old, he is not getting much younger. He still puts up great numbers. Around 750 receiving yards is good enough for a team making a playoff push that we could get use out of. And the reason why we're considering shopping him is because of the man we have behind him. Trey McBride, the rookie out of Colorado State, has all the makings to be the next big thing that we could need. We'd obviously want to develop his blocking to make sure that he can do what Zach struggles with, but if we get him enough experience and reps, we can hopefully get him to be a high-priced player in our offense. As we are finishing up with the offense, let's jump right in the defense and our strongest point on the defense, and that is our safeties, starting with Budda Baker. This 26-year-old superstar development player out of Washington is absolutely captaining our defense. He is in a very explosive run stopper, but has great stats for zone and hybrid play style in the defense. His speed is good, which has him ranked in the top 10 for overall strong safeties in the league. Baker will definitely be a piece that we want to keep on the team and keep building around, and we already have a great starting point at safety as well. Free safety Jalen Thompson is a dynamic player who can only help bolster our secondary. The 24-year-old star development player out of Washington State is the 16th best free safety in the league, but has room to grow. His raw athleticism shows me signs of hope that we can get him to be the player that we want him to be. With the aging quarterbacks in this division, it is a chance for us to really capitalize on some young, unexperienced quarterbacks that might be coming through these teams soon. Baker and Thompson are the captains of this defense, as they will be the ones holding it down on the back end for us. But that is where our strength in the secondary ends. Rashad Fenton, our best cornerback on the team, is 25 years old and the 120th ranked cornerback in the league. His speed and acceleration are okay, but as you can see by his overall, he is not very good at cornerback, and he is supposed to be our best. It's not looking good for Rashad Fenton. He has some time to still develop, but I do not think he will be our top cornerback for much longer because of Marco Wilson. The 23-year-old out of Florida is the same overall and is actually one position rank better. He is the 119th best cornerback in the league. Although he is not much to brag about, his raw athleticism should be enough to get him by in some matchups, but we're hoping that his man coverage and zone coverage in particular get better. Although we do not have time to break down every single position on the team here, we will be looking at free agency to see if we can add any players that can help us get through this first year. A first name that pops up is Ezekiel Elliott. Although I don't think he's a scheme fit, and I don't really want to make this offense one where he is a fit, we're going to look at two other names here. First off is left end Jadeveon Clowney. Our pass rush in general needs improvement, and Clowney, being that veteran guy, could be someone to do it. We also take a stop off to look at left outside linebacker Leonard Floyd and left outside linebacker Melvin Ingram. They are both mentors, but we don't really think they'd be a good fit for us. but Clowney is a name that I kept coming back to. 29 years old, 80 overall, could definitely be big for us, but he does not fit our scheme, and at almost $5.4 million, not quite a name we want to jump into right now. Edge rusher is a position that you can easily fill in the draft. There are a lot of great players coming out of college every year, but the other position that we're looking at is one that does not produce many game changers, and that is middle linebacker. And we are extremely interested in signing Myles Jack. At $4.9 million a year, his stats have him ranked as the 14th best middle linebacker in football right now, and he is definitely someone that can make plays for us. He is also a scheme fit for us, so he could be a solid piece of this defense. But looking in at his motivations, we have income tax and we are not historic champions, so we do not think that we'll be able to sign him long term. But I definitely think that Myles Jack would be a good piece for right now, a 1-year rental, if you may. If we can make a good playoff run, hopefully we can convince him to stay. The other signing that we are looking to make is at the secondary position, and we are looking at cornerback, Troy Pride Jr. The 24-year-old out of Notre Dame is a 69 rated overall, and he is definitely someone who we can work with. His man-to-man coverage is his best, and that is actually the stat that we on our defense rely on the most. So we will also be signing Troy Pride Jr. So as we jump into some practice reps here, it is time to talk about what we expect out of this Cardinals team this first year. I expect the offense to hopefully be one of the better ones in the league. We hope to see Rondale Moore continue to make plays, DeAndre Hopkins stay a top wide receiver, and Kyler Murray continue to develop and become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, one of the positions that we did not talk about is our running back room. And that is because, honestly, we're just going to revamp it. Right now, our starting running back is James Conner, and I do not feel that he is going to be a long-term or, in fact, even a short-term solution to this team. So we will try him out for this year, and if he works, we will bring him back. If not, we will probably move on from him this offseason and try to find a younger and more explosive running back to put next to Kyler Murray in this team. One player I do not know how I managed to forget about was on the defensive side of the ball, and that is Isaiah Simmons. This absolute freak of nature can play both the secondary and linebacker, can also dabble in a little bit of the defensive line, but we are going to look to utilize him the most at linebacker. Now, he is a much better coverage linebacker than blitzing, so he could become a middle linebacker for us as well, but I'm going to be looking to use him around the right outside linebacker position and kind of have him be a more coverage person. I feel that with Simmons and Jack in the linebacking core for us, we will have great success captaining this defense in the right way that they should be going. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys think this Cardinals team will do this first year. The person with the closest guess to how we do this year will be eligible for a surprise. Now, I don't know what it will be yet, but I will find some way to reward you for guessing correctly. Also for you guys, I will be keeping a spreadsheet on Google Docs tracking how the team is doing throughout the year and throughout the seasons. This will be a little awkward as we will be at different points if you're catching up on videos, so try not to peek if you're trying to avoid spoilers, but I will be doing my best to keep that updated and accurate so you can kind of get a quick glance to where we are and where someone is at production throughout points of the season. I think this will be really fun because if we draft someone really explosive, we'll be able to see how they're doing throughout the years and whether or not we think they have earned this big contract that they might be wanting. Now we've done the practice, we've done the preseason prep, so let's watch some highlights from the games here. First off will be a nice goal line stand that the defensive starters have against the Bengals here, but it is quickly overshadowed in this game by the struggles of the offensive line. Now, this is our second unit here for the offensive line, but the pass block is not very good as Colt McCoy stands in the pocket for too long and gets sacked. Now, he does get hit multiple times in this game, which causes me worry because what if this is Kyler Murray who's getting hit a lot? And also, this is another worry that we have. Colt McCoy takes off here. As you can see, he gets hit and he is down with an injury. Now, this is turns out to not be very serious as he does come back later on in the game. But this offensive line is really making me worry whether or not Kyler will be able to stay healthy and be the franchise quarterback that we need him to be. But switching back to the defensive side of the ball here, another highlight for them is this beautiful play here, as this route is jumped and it is a pick six by Boyd taken all the way to the house. Now this makes us feel good because our secondary is something that makes us worry a lot, but if they're able to make plays like this, hopefully we'll start to see some of these players going with the ones on defense. This was not the only time that our defense found the end zone here in the preseason. In week 2 against the Ravens, we have a nice forced fumble here that gets picked up and returned to the end zone, creating a close game. Now, unfortunately, this is the last game that we have footage for. I accidentally simmed the final preseason game, but I saw big play potential out of our secondary and out of our defense in general. So hopefully they will be able to continue that to the season. In the official last step of the preseason here, we have to cut 16 players from the roster. I want to keep some of these players around in our practice squad just in case worst case scenario comes around. So like Jace Whittaker is one that we want to bring back. And David Blau is a quarterback that will actually make the roster. He had a lot of good plays in the preseason, and I am excited to see if he can develop into a quarterback that we need him to be. But at age 27 and 57 overall, I don't really think that that's a possibility. But worst case, he is a good emergency quarterback to have. And we will be letting go of Jeff Driscoll because we are keeping Blau. So as we are coming towards the end of the video here, I just want to say a quick thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for making it this far. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. So if you like the content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below. It would be awesome to see you around in future videos. I hope to really get this series going. I love Madden. I played a bunch of Madden growing up and even recently, so I think being able to build a franchise would be something that would be really, really cool to do. The next video in this series should be dropping in a couple days, but I will be sure to get it out as soon as I can. I'm just doing the final editing parts. I'm going to aim for about 2 videos a week here to try to progress the season pretty quickly. And then at the end of the season and the off season and preseason, I will look to either stream those over on my Twitch or over here on my YouTube channel. But I will be sure to get a schedule out to you guys soon with how the videos will be coming out. So next video will be our week 1 game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely going to be a very, very interesting first game. We got to see how we match up against one of the best teams in the NFL. So a great starting point. I'm expecting to start the season 0-1, but I'm always looking forward to hope. So on that note, thank you very much, everybody, and have a good rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.
How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? I need us to be a little bit high, a little